Ladies and gentlemen, no, I'm not going to do the end. I'm not going to do that fight intro. Anyways, hey, hello there. It's SportCulation. Hi guys.
Hey,
Hello.
What's up? It's Sunday night. We normally
Sunday
record.
night.
Yeah, we normally record on Saturdays, but I had things to do, so I said, why not do tonight? And then other things happened, which you'll find out later. Well, then again, that might have go up. Anyways, banter aside, it's the SportCulation podcast, and I am Yusuf.
I am Parse.
I'm Anton.
And as usual, we're here to talk about all things sports and all weird things in sports. And if we're going to talk about anything weird, man, today was the day to do it. So, guys, you're aware of Mike Tyson recently coming back to the boxing ring?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, that was a thing. And you're aware that Jake Paul, influencer and brother of psychotic blonde man Logan Paul, had a fight on that card.
Yes, I also know about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he fought former basketball, I don't want to call him star, player, Nate Robinson, and beat him.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, he won.
He beat him?
Jake Paul won that fight. You didn't see that?
Yeah, of course he's dead.
No, I see the video.
Okay, I was concerned for a second.
Wow.
Yeah. There's been an update in the world of professional boxing in that Jake Paul has been, calling people out, being like, I want to fight this guy, I want to fight that guy. Yeah, that's been a thing. Evander Kane of the San Jose Sharks said, I want to fight Jake Paul, and Jake Paul said, who even are you? I don't know who you are.
Whoa.
I believe his exact response was, what is a San Jose Shark?
Because nobody watches people that actually watch hockey.
Except us.
It's not as big a thing as you think. Mainstream.
But there has been a crazy breakthrough in news today involving the Paul brothers, not Jake. No. Involving Logan Paul.
Well, there's also a story about Jake, but I'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. It was announced not 3 or 4 hours ago that Logan Paul on the 20th of February 2021, so 2 months from now, will be taking part in a exhibition boxing match against Floyd Mayweather.
This is all for the bag. Plain and simple.
It has to be. So today, by the way,
nothing else matters.
Yeah. So for listeners, today's topic, as far as what we're going through, is the partaking of celebrities and influencers in professional sport, and we could talk about celebrities that play like hockey, like Justin Bieber wanting to face Jordan Binnington in a shootout. But, those are things that are like at this point kind of minuscule compared to this news, because, Bieber going in a shootout against someone like Jordan Binnington is this great pop star against a Stanley Cup winning goalie who's from our town, by the way. But you have this crazy egomaniac influencer that's going to be stepping in a boxing ring with arguably the greatest boxer of this generation. And it has to be for the bag, right?
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, like he beat Conor McGregor, and
Did he actually beat him, or no? Sorry, we're talking about Floyd. Yeah, of course.
Floyd beat Conor McGregor.
Who is Jake beating?
No one. Not Jake Paul. Logan. Logan's the one fighting him.
Oh, Logan. Okay.
Logan Paul went up against, I believe, KSI.
Yeah, in a losing effort. I just checked. This is the only time I'm ever going to check Logan Paul's Wikipedia page in my entire life. But yeah, he had a, let's see, it was a 6-round defeat to KSI in 2019. And that's about it. That was his only professional boxing match so far. And now he's fighting Floyd Mayweather.
It seems that Jake Paul has like taking professional fighting a little more seriously than Logan. Like for Logan, it seems to be more of like a publicity, but also like trying to get the bag sort of thing, which is fine. I mean, do what you want to do for the money. I don't know, up to you. But just I don't know. I don't know if this is the a smart thing for him because he's probably gonna get knocked out pretty quickly. But hey, you want to get that bag, you can get that bag.
I'm just super shocked that these guys have to resort to these. I mean, the question still stands, right? Should celebrities be able to do this? Are they still allowed to do this? And I think yeah, it is. It is allowed. I think the first point I want to touch on is the fact that these people sometimes have to get the money, right, to support their families and things like that.
Yeah.
Nate was definitely in a position, and that's why he got laid out on the floor. Sorry, it was just a joke. But on the other end of it, this is also a way to give people kind of what they want and what Vegas wants. Vegas wants a quick buck.
Yeah.
People want to be entertained, and this is one of those ways. I am in no way. I didn't even know that those two guys' names until the fight happened. I'll be honest with you. I don't watch YouTube enough to even know who these YouTube influencers are. But if they can apparently box, and if Jake Paul can do that, I'm a little concerned for McGregor in his position. But in terms of Floyd fighting him, that's all good and dandy. The fact that Floyd's gonna come out of retirement again to fight somebody just shows you it's all about the bag. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is like
what does it
okay,
take a
so
fight he loses?
so this is Jake Paul, the younger brother,
Yeah,
wanting
Jake-
to fight Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
whereas Logan Paul is the older brother wanting to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Wanting to
just,
and will be fighting Floyd Mayweather.
just so that we have that cleared up.
Yeah, just so it's
for the
clarified.
listeners.
San Jose Shark got to get some damn respect, bro. Put him in the ring.
So apparently, this was talked about though with Evander Kane in regards to that, where the only way Evander Kane could do it was if he. What was the rule? It's like if he only went into a boxing match against one of his teammates that had a boxing record. Otherwise, it's a breach of NHL contract.
So he has to leave the NHL in order to do this. Damn,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Right. I would rather. I mean, the Sharks are dog crap right now, so you're not winning a cup anytime soon. I'd rather take that.
So the bigger question that I wanted to pose with this,
Sure.
when I brought up the topic earlier, like to put it on the list,
Yep.
is what does it mean for like celebrities and also like YouTubers and influencers getting into the realm of entertainment, sports entertainment, like whether they be like fights like this
Mhm.
or one-on-one basketball or anything like that. Speaking of which,
I was about to get to that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about
yeah,
it.
let's-
That's
well,
the
so-
only
but
person-
like,
so
what
to
does
answer-
does
so
that
to answer-
mean for the world of sports? Like, does that, some people are saying like, especially in UFC, who are like hardcore UFC fans, they're like, these YouTubers coming in, they're like making a mockery of the sport, but like it is bringing some more high profile to those, like to the sport itself. So
Yeah.
and sometimes like they're not even like the main event, they're like the undercard.
Mhm.
Like they're like the second fight,
Yeah.
of the night. So
Yeah.
but
But I
they're
feel
still
like-
bringing a lot of attention. So
Yeah.
maybe does that mean it's good, or does it
I mean,
diminish the sport?
I think in a way it's good because it keeps viewership up, right? Because at the end of the day, these promotions need to these promoters and broadcasters need to make money. So having a card like I don't remember what the exact numbers were from the Mike Tyson Roy Jones card, but a good portion of viewers from the pay-per-view buys were from like Logan Paul's or Jake Paul's following, because he was fighting Nate Robinson and it was an undercard match, but people were still tuning in for that, like a solid majority, not more than like maybe 25%. But I think like it does speak numbers that, celebrities or influencers of these kinds would want to like do things like this. But it brings the question of like, is it really a good idea, I guess, when you think about it from like a practical standpoint? Because, like like the NBA All-Star game, was it this year when they brought in what's her name, Charlie D'Amelio? Like she
What
didn't
about
do
it?
anything.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was this year.
that was this year. So like my whole thought about like bringing in celebrities for like advertising or certain things with like a sport, like obviously Charlie wasn't playing basketball but was involved at some way in the dunk competition, but this is obviously a
Oh,
little
trying to
different.
like get people hyped. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like say like my dad and I were talking about this earlier when I told him the news about the Mayweather Paul fight was if you had a celebrity like LeVar Ball, because he's not we're talking about it. LeVar hasn't shut up about the fact that he wants to play Michael Jordan one on one and has every reason to believe that he'll beat him. Right. And now LeVar's talking about like I want $200 million to play Michael one on one live on pay per view and all these things. It's like, you know, it's a business venture almost. It's like an investment when celebrities or influencers want to get involved in like these kinds of things. So I was talking about this with my cousin yesterday actually, where the like social media influencers and like YouTubers and all these people, they have like their own like their business of, you know, what they do on social media. But because of that, they start investing in other things like esports or food or Raid Shadow. I don't know. Um, so something like professional boxing would be, you know, not bad because there's a lot of money involved and it's something they only have to do once or twice in their lifetime, maybe. It's not going to be a full-time thing, but it not only helps their already massive following, but in a way it's kind of a win-win in that this massive following, not 100% of it, but part of it will translate over to whatever they're doing. So having like if they have both the Paul brothers on a fight card, that would do. I think that would do massive numbers just because of that alone. And I think that's like the good reason for them to be involved so much. Also, like whatever, because I know like these guys have probably have like enough leverage to get a certain amount of prize money, even if they lose and get the living hell kicked out of them.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
I'm
So
sure.
like I obviously the numbers haven't come out yet, but I genuinely am very curious as to what the prize fight numbers are going to be for Paul and Mayweather. And even if Paul loses, it's probably going to be a stupid amount
I'm
of money.
expecting it's gonna be like a good chunk of change.
Yeah, like an unhealthy amount of money.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
both Jake and Logan Paul, like they pulled the numbers for
Mhm.
for UFC.
Yeah,
Sorry
for boxing. Yeah,
for boxing. I
for
mean,
Showtime. Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah,
So
I
yeah,
don't know. It'll be
so
interesting.
I think definitely they're gonna have like a good idea would be to perhaps separate them into two different uh two different events,
Yeah,
so you can get that double the money, so it's not all in one day,
yeah,
all
and
in
you
one
know,
shot.
I think like with boxing, it's so different because like if you had like the example I was bringing up earlier that Justin Bieber and Jordan Bennington got into a whole like Twitter argument where they were going to have a shootout for charity, and Justin was going to shoot on Jordan Bennington, and if he could get at least one goal in, it'd be like $500,000 to charity or something like that, some number. But you know, Justin Bieber, being a Stratford, Ontario boy, loves his hockey and took it seriously to the point where he was training with Austin Matthews to get ready for it. Now, obviously, they were going to have a date for this year, but COVID happened, so probably next year we'll be looking at another big celebrity involvement of Justin Bieber and Bennington. But how would like hosting that is obviously different from hosting a boxing card because on a boxing card you have your undercard and you have all these matches and then you have your main event. And wherever the celebrity is involved, the celebrity is involved. For that, it's like, okay, in between the first and second period of the St. Louis Blues game, we're gonna have the Bieber Bennington shootout or something. I don't know, like that. But when you talk about like with the Paul brothers and putting them on two different cards, like you said, Anton, that's the only way you're going to do it. Because if you have one Paul versus the greatest boxer of all time and another Paul versus the greatest loudmouth and the best pound for pound UFC fighter in the world of all currently, you know they're not going on the same card just because McGregor would want that main event spot, but Floyd will also want that main event spot because there's money involved, right? For both the Paul brothers, it's the same thing. Now, granted, they share a bank account and a brain, so
I don't think they share bank account.
I mean that's
That
a
pretty
joke,
sure they
but
have
only because they're
two
brothers. But
different.
yeah,
I think they have like two different companies.
I would assume
And
so.
yeah, and they have
Yeah,
like vast. They have like sort of different um, business models as well.
yeah,
Um, Jake himself is actually far more invested in um, merch. Like owns like a how do you say it? Like print on demand merch business. He
Okay.
owns like shares in a company,
Mhm.
and yeah, like they have similar business models. But I would actually say, um, after after a few years of reflection and growing, I think that Logan Paul himself has grown a little bit more to be to be a little bit. He's grown since.
Not a jackass.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's difficult, but to say, but I mean, I think Jake Paul is still kind of the same guy of like this. He's YouTube's frat boy kind of.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what? Hey, gets that gets boxing some more attention. And my question now is like, can other sports do this? Like, do you think that it would be an interesting idea if, like, dying sports, like basketball they didn't basketball was already like the fastest growing sport, or maybe
Oh,
not the fastest growing sport, but it was
but
like
it's
it's
been
like the
growing pretty
top
quickly. Yeah.
sport, basically it's getting close to topping up NFL, right?
Yeah.
In revenue numbers soon. And then they got the top and the top TikTok star Charlie D'Amelio, who now has
Mhm.
like over 100 million followers.
Yep.
They got her on, and they didn't need that,
No.
but like they did it, and they still got numbers. So could someone like NHL, who's like still trying to figure out how to get people to watch their games,
How to market?
how to market um, hockey, and then also something like baseball, where like there are fewer and fewer kids wanting to watch that game.
Right.
So could you have that? Like, could you have like Dude Perfect, play like an exhibition match in NHL just to get a bunch of their kids hyped up about hockey, or like could you get trying to think of another sports YouTuber, like the Two Hype guys, uh, play in a game of scrimmage baseball in
Mhm.
in an MLB match, for like I don't know, the Angels or someone, um, or just pick a celebrity, pick an influencer.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
by the way, if you guys would like to hear more about my thoughts on the whole influencer and digital influencer space, you can follow my other podcast, Following News, also on Spotify, Following News. Anyway, but yeah, the
Shameless plug.
question,
um,
yeah, shameless plug. But
yeah.
yeah, my question is like, do you think that would work if they just like took other sports like exhibition matches? Do you think that would bring up viewership numbers and interest in the sport at large?
I feel. I
Parse,
feel
I
like.
want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I want to
I
hear
don't know.
Parse. I'm
I
trying
don't
to
know
think
if
about
you have
this.
any
He's
on
just
this
been sitting.
topic specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to start with the last question. If it's a little disrespectful to the craft of the sport, and as I start to think about it a lot more, it gets to a point where it is actually a little disrespectful. These guys, and I'm talking, in order to become a professional athlete, there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through. Same thing with a YouTuber. I mean, I'm sure when you guys are doing the influencing, there's a ton of hoops you have to jump through in order to become big enough where every single video makes you even bigger and makes you the money. But the fact that they're able to take boxing cards like this and kind of make a mockery of what it means to actually train to become a professional boxer, which a lot of them in the industry will tell you it's a long time. Just spending 10 years in the league of boxing as a professional MMA fighter is a blessing. Not many people, not many boxers get 10 years of boxing. So just take that in. Professional boxers, and I've watched a lot of videos to tell you this, 10 years is a lot. Floyd, you know, Ali, Tyson, those guys are aliens. Most of the people you see, the day-to-day guys who spend their life's earnings, life savings in this, it doesn't always happen like that. Same thing as in baseball. A lot of people spend their whole lives trying to play baseball and only end up third stringers or playing AAA, AA. Like it's a very difficult thing. And then you got these YouTubers who, have an interest in the sport. And because they have the money in the backing, can put themselves on the front of the newspaper, on the front of the page, prime time or before prime time, and get famous, and this guy just so happens to win in a very impressive fashion that it even makes him even bigger. It's kind of a slap in the face to the kid with a dream, isn't it? I mean, it's not really fair. You know, a lot of people spend their lives training to become professionals at something, and it's really disappointing. Like when you think about it, I think when you think about it, just disappointing to see that that could happen. That this is the kind of way the world is. I mean, I didn't think about it when I was watching the whole thing. I didn't buy, of course, I didn't watch it on live. I kind of saw the YouTube replays and things like that. But it's kind of funny in the moment when you see it because it's like, oh, that was so cool, or oh, that was so weird, and it's just kind of fun. But at the end of the day, like when you guys are starting to talk about it, I start to think like, again, Nate did this for the money. Jake did this for the money. But there's a lot of 9, 10-year-olds, 16, 17-year-olds, kids on a scholarship with a one-time dream to make the Olympics who will never, ever get the opportunity if they mess up where they're at right now. There's a lot of 17, 18, and 19-year-old kids who have plans of showcasing their skills in the 2020 Olympics who now have to wait till 2021 with barely any money to pay the student fees that they're on. And these guys get to exploit themselves through boxing. So it's a very sad thing, sad reality to see this. On the other end of it, you know, what it does for the sport. I mean, yeah, you get more eyes on it, and a lot of these sports they need it. Baseball, boxing, they need more people invested in this work. Is kind of dying. The old guard is gone, and the new guard is not as popular because people have moved on to other ways of getting their entertainment. So it is a good way, but I hope it doesn't take away from the craft that you have to take. Because if it was really like this, you know, why did I spend so many hours playing chess? You know, like it's like that. Should have spent the hours playing, you know, doing YouTube.
Yeah. I feel like going off that, it really would be a slap in the face to see like say like a baseball game where you had like a celebrity lineup on a team, or you had like some big celebrity that was, I don't know, batting like maybe 1 or 2 innings for that team. And say that game, because of that celebrity's involvement, the ratings are like skyrocketing and they overshadow that of, say, like a World Series clinching game. That's a slap in the face to the teams involved in that game mentioned. And honestly, I feel like that would be a slap in the face to the team that won the World Series, though.
Sure, but could that also be like a fault of the people?
Baseball?
No, yeah, of baseball's marketing. Like,
Yeah,
does that mean
of
it's just
course.
like,
Yeah.
hey, you suck at marketing. Nobody wants to, or like nobody is just interested in your stuff anymore. Your product is not something that people want.
Yep.
But when you put someone famous there, then they want to see it. Of course, you know they have like the first pitch thrown by celebrities all the
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
in games. And of course you have you know, like charity baseball games, but that's not the same thing
No.
as like a full on like just get celebrities like that. That's not even in the obviously that's not even in the rule book that's allowed.
I just wanted to say one thing that I was kind of saving for at the end when we did the final thoughts, but I think it'd be perfect to say now.
Okay.
The money shouldn't overshadow the quality of the product. It really shouldn't. I know these guys get millions of dollars to do it. And we've been on the record on the show saying that they get paid way too much.
Mhm.
But you know, when you're talking about guys who spend hours and hours perfecting this, to have it overshadowed because hey, we made way more money than what we would have had we not done it. It's really overshadowing the product, and I really hope that we as a society haven't gotten to that point where we value the money over the product or the money over the quality of the product and the work, because that could really undermine what it really means to work.
So I think
Okay.
yeah, I think you definitely do kind of feel for those people who have like spent a lot of time and effort and a
Mhm.
lot of their lifetime on trying to get in
Yeah.
and try to get to a professional level. But my thoughts to this are just more like I think like if you can do something that helps the sport
Yeah.
as an idea grow, I think that could generally be considered a good thing. Like I think Logan Paul, the guy who's only fought once,
Yep.
yeah, he seems more of like I'm just gonna try to get a bag, try to get
Yeah.
some money, or try to get some popularity. And I think that
And
one is more just like a for the promoters to be like, yeah, let's just get some money out of this.
oh yeah.
But it seems like Jake Paul, he's training a lot now. Like he
Yeah,
seems to be
he
like
is.
taking this seriously as like a genuine part of his career that he wants to
Mhm.
take seriously. So
Nope.
And that's good. That's good if he does that. It's really positive. You know, because like I don't want them to take it and rip it apart. You know, a lot of these guys, they lose teeth, they lose brain cells over this. So if he is starting to train in a more serious matter, where it's not just about I'm gonna fight on the big card, it's also, you know, as much as it's a hobby, I may take a couple fights during the year and try to do it in a way where I'm giving back to the sport. That's the reason why I think Justin Bieber's attempt of giving to charity and having the shootout game is so terrific, because it's not just about the sport and it's not just about him. You get what I mean?
Mhm.
It's about the charity event. That is the core purpose of it. It's that we
Right.
want to give back to the communities who raised us and made us believe in something. Sure, I get the shooting this all-time goalie, and sure, it's going to be a big thing, and I get a lot of people are going to view in, but at the end of the day, this goes to the sick kids hospital. This goes to kids with cancer. This goes to cancer research, stem cell research, things like that, things that are impactful to the life. So that it's not just about the product now. It's about being a human being, which is generosity and giving. That's
I
kind
don't
of
know
where
if those are the charities that were selected. Were those
But
the charities?
no,
I mean,
but
I'm just using those charities as an example.
this example, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like, that's kind of where the boxing thing kind of doesn't fit, because again, boxing is mostly about the bag.
hmm
But I hope that it doesn't just become about the bag.
Yeah. Well, I feel like at the end of the day, when you look at it from the perspective of the Paul Mayweather fight, 2 months before it happens, no, the only like the thing everyone's thinking about
Almost is wild.
immediately, the first thing you'd be thinking about is bag, because that's going to be a ton of money involved in that fight. Considering
That's not gonna be a real. Mostly, I mean, the Pacquiao fight, we waited years
yeah, we waited years for that.
because they had to really,
Hype it
draw
up.
out the
Yeah,
map
keep it
on
drawn
this.
out. Yeah.
This is, hey, this was so hot, a couple months back, just run it back. Like, okay, cool, but I hope people don't take it over their heads. I hope this does work out for Logan. I guess he's probably struggling for cash, or he just sees the opportunity.
No, I think he's good for. I think it's just the
I
opportunity.
know Floyd ain't struggling for cash.
Floyd Mayweather. Okay, what?
I don't think either of the Paul brothers are
Yeah,
struggling
neither
for
of
cash.
the
unless
Paul
they're in
brothers are-
debt and we don't know. But I
That's
think
true. But
they're
as far as
coming
we know,
out
the
of
Paul brothers are
retirement?
okay. But
Come
Floyd's
on,
coming out of retirement again, and
come on, man.
so we have enough time on the show to do this, and I really want to do this. But before I go there, just shout out to my buddy Andy, who mentioned this to me when the news broke, and he said, because he tells me some wild things sometimes. All I got was a text from him that said, "What if Logan Paul beats Mayweather?" And I was like, no. If Logan Paul is going to be the 1 in 50-1, the world is going to explode.
51-1. Sorry, 51-0.
Floyd has to go 51-0. There's no way he's losing.
51-0. He is 51-0.
No, he's 50-0. McGregor was 50.
Oh, I thought he was 51. Wow.
McGregor was 50. McGregor was 50. Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. Yeah, so he could go 51-0
I don't
and then
know if this
retire
one really
again.
counts towards that. 'Cause I don't
Probably
even
not.
think
I think it's just like an
actually
exhibition
count
fight.
towards it.
So yeah,
But no, Mayweather will never.
yeah,
It's
I
impossible.
highly
There's
doubt
something
it.
in the clause says I can't
Exactly.
lose.
Yeah, basically. Also, like, it's his promotion that's running the fight. It's Money Promotion or Money Entertainment, whatever it's called. This company, like, it's his promotional company that's handling it. Like, man, A, he's not losing. B, he's getting as much as he wants. All right, so we have enough time on the show that we're gonna try and do this. And I have an idea for both of you to put you on the spot here. You get to pick a famous athlete and a celebrity and put them in a boxing match. Who do you choose? And how would you market it? I already know my answer.
Danica Fitzpatrick and Aaron Rodgers. Have it at
What?
have at it.
Why? Well, that's two athletes though.
Well, she's technically an influencer because she did NASCAR, but she's also like her own thing.
I
Like
guess, but
multiple
if we're
commercials.
talking like,
That's because I want to see what really happened in that marriage.
okay, Parse,
Remember
better idea. Rather than like influencers and actors involved as well. Let's add actors here, shall we?
Yeah, like influencers, celebrities.
These
like
celebrities
people who
of
are
any kind
outside of sports.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Actually,
yeah.
do you
You
want to
guys
do?
go first.
Are you saying just boxing, or maybe like any one-on-one?
Oh, if you can
situation.
get creative with any one-on-one, go right ahead.
I mean, there's a lot of beef still on Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, so I just want to see how that goes in the fight.
Yeah, yo, wrestling.
I just want to see
WWE.
Yeah,
style.
WWE style wrestling. Just
No
professional.
rules.
There's like just chairs and barbed
chairs.
wire. Yeah.
Hell in a Cell, bro.
Yep. I don't know where they're gonna get the cell, but sure. Why not?
There's a little beef in there, and I know it doesn't end
No.
at where it ended, so I just maybe they should hash it out.
Yeah. So I had the idea of what was it exactly? It was Christian Bale and like I'm trying to think of a good like UFC fighter. I want to say McGregor, but I feel like McGregor would be too easy. Like Khabib Nurmagomedov or like John Jones maybe. Just cuz like Christian Bale, I don't know how he is now, but he's been pretty jacked. I would love to see him get in the ring with someone. Because they talked about Liam Neeson fighting too, but I don't think Liam Neeson's ever going to do that. Hello. Okay. I'm not sure.
What about Keanu Reeves and John Jones?
Yo, let's go. I'm down. I'd love to see Keanu get. What if you just did all celebrity Keanu Reeves versus Christian Bale?
That would be interesting.
That'd be
That would
fun.
be interesting.
DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
And anything against anyone. Just
DJ Khaled against anyone.
Because
oh
he
God.
the best.
Yeah,
What is
and depending on the celebrity too, like Khaled, he would market that to like
Oh yeah.
as much as he could. Like
And
that
he's
would be
like,
the
I'm gonna win.
yeah.
I'm
all
all I do is win, no matter
Yep.
what.
Yep.
And he's gonna lose, but he's gonna go in there with 150% confidence.
His ring entrance or his like entrance to that whatever he does will be him on a chariot carried or driven by lions, and his two kids will be like on his shoulders as he is majestically taken to the field.
Oh, are we talking about current athletes or like former athletes?
I mean, if you want to go former, you could do that too. Like, I want this to get as interesting as possible because I have a really good one, but it involves two athletes, but the explanation of it will take like 10 minutes.
Jeff Goldblum and Don Cherry. Doesn't matter what sport. Put them in something.
Just a debate.
Yeah, just have them talk.
Like I remember, so in our fantasy baseball chat, we were talking about this, and one of us brought up the whole. I don't know. You might remember this video from like a few years ago. Remember when the ice bucket challenge was a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there was this
How
video.
could I not forget 50 Cent's?
Thank you.
Amazing, just
Floyd Mayweather. If you can read one page out of a Harry Potter book, I will donate $750,000 to charity. Did Floyd do it? No, but we had a joke of like Floyd versus Trump in a reading contest. First person to finish a Harry Potter book becomes president of the United States.
Yo, did you see that? Oh my goodness, I don't want to get too much into politics, but it was like, I think Joe Biden and Donald Trump, like during the campaign, they were like, they were talking about like who would win in a fight back in high school. Like this was actually something. This is part of American politics. Like they were actually talking about it during the campaign trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously like Joe Biden was like, oh, wouldn't you just want to knock him out? And Trump was just like, oh, I would have won easily. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to see. No, they're like septuagenarians. I don't think.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're 70 something.
they're old.
So
They're very
A
old.
lot of them just roll through my mind. I mean, there's so many beefs that are out there.
Shaq and JaVale.
So hard. Yeah, Shaq and JaVale's another one.
Shaq and Chuck.
so
Yeah.
well, are we gonna talk about? Are we gonna go back to ball
So
ball entertainment?
hear me out. This what I have to bring up. If you guys are done, if you guys have nothing else to say,
Yeah, we have nothing else. We have nothing else.
Yeah,
Alright.
I already brought up
All right. So
Jeff Goldblum.
haha. So hear me out here, okay? I pitched this idea earlier when my dad and I were talking about the fights because he was asking me like, how do these fights make so much money? It's like, well, one thing is hype. If you have like the right people involved and you get the marketing going, like it's all about marketing and hype that'll really amp up numbers for pay per view and whatnot. And I was like, Dad, imagine if you took two loudmouths and you put them in like a boxing match or a UFC fight, for example. Like let's say boxing. Let's say boxing for safe because the UFC has all their restrictions and regulations, anyways. And I know Dana White would probably not be a fan of, but I'd guess. So we remember the Mayweather McGregor fight. Do we remember the amount of trash talking that went down for months heading into
Dude,
that
it was
fight?
once.
Those press
And
and it
Connor
was in Toronto, and it was in Toronto.
Connor was funny with it though. Connor
Yeah, the fuck you McGregor suit. He just kept saying how McGregor can't read, that. So, but what they were doing was interesting because they had all these press conferences going on for a few weeks at a time before the fight, or like a little while before the fight to really get the hype going. Right now, hear me out here. Live on pay-per-view, a boxing match between McGregor and LeVar Ball. Strictly knowing that if you let those two have a press conference like what they did the McGregor Mayweather tour, like that whole thing,
Yeah,
they could
that's
make
true.
a
That- there's-
good
there's-
amount of money from that.
Yeah, that's a lot of beacon right there. You can
Mhm.
you don't even you just have to do a pay per view for the press conference.
Yeah, exactly. You just
You
run the
know-
press
you
conferences
know-
live on pay-per-view.
Of
Because,
like yeah.
having two very, sorry, Anton, having two very vocal human beings in their own right just bat at each other for weeks and weeks and weeks. And at first it'll be, oh, LeVar can't stand a chance because McGregor, or, oh, LeVar's bigger than McGregor. He can beat McGregor. It'll get to the point where it'll be like, oh my God, one of them, please shut up. And by the time the fight comes around, buys are probably going to go up because people want to see one of these two just shut up for once. Like that would be hysterical, I think. I would absolutely, if I was a boxing promoter, I would figure out how to do that as soon as humanly possible. By the way, also just related and unrelated, they are potentially talking about a McGregor Mayweather rematch.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, if COVID's not a thing, guess what we're doing? Again.
Yeah, we're gonna squat up and
Yeah,
watch that.
again. But yeah, so final thoughts. I guess for final thoughts at this point. Yeah. Final thoughts. Celebrities' involvement, or social media influencers, whoever involvement in sports or athletics of any kind. I like at least from what we've seen with boxing, it's going well. Like it's doing pretty good. I kind of wish celebrities would have more of an involvement in other sports like hockey and baseball, but it's kind of hard because of restrictions and whatnot. Obviously, they can't be just like playing on the team. So, like the All-Star game would probably be the only time to do it, or you just hold like exhibition games, or even have them just show up for exhibition games because technically those aren't sanctioned NHL like games that follow by the schedule. So
Yeah. Well, my biggest question was also like, how much does Drake's involvement in the Raptors matter?
oh yeah, right. We were gonna talk about that.
But
Well,
like, I don't know if we have enough time for that. But,
I mean, we could wrap up with that if anything, rather than just do final thoughts. We could just wrap up with that.
I don't know if you guys, if you don't have thoughts, then we can just go to final thoughts on that.
I mean, my thoughts regarding the whole Drake Raptors thing is it's really more of a branding thing. The way I've looked at it for the last couple of years is it's really more of a branding thing because Drake will always be like when he's on the court, You know, he's got his OVO sweater on, and then he's got like a
Well,
Raptors
Drake
OVO
will
jersey.
forever be Toronto man.
He will.
He will forever be Toronto man, and like
Yeah.
known as one of the quintessential Torontonians.
Oh yeah.
Especially like Toronto as as the 2010 decade specifically. So I think branding is a big part of it for like getting people around the Toronto man, you know, and around the Toronto team.
Yeah,
So,
and
like,
considering
by getting the Toronto man.
Yeah, and considering what the Raptors training center is the OVO Athletic Center now, or has been for like a year. Yeah. So there's that, and then for when Drake's on the court at a Raptors game, because he'll always be courtside anyways. He'll be wearing something OVO related, and obviously people will be eyeing that because number one, it's Drake, and number two, he's wearing his branding, he's wearing his merchandise, and sometimes he has the OVO Raptors stuff on because there were those like custom OVO Raptors jerseys he made for his entourage for some games. And then, for example, I really wish he was wearing one of these when he gave Nick Nurse a shoulder massage. But like when Drake does all these wild antics on the court, it's not directly involving the game, but because he's so close to it and because it's on national television, people are going to see it and people will get more invested in it. I think that was a big thing for the Raptors, besides like the fact that they won a title, was Drake had a lot of just like indirect involvement with the team from a branding standpoint that really helped the following grow as it has in the last like year or so. That's my thoughts about it. Parse, anything?
No, you guys are good.
Are we good to go? I guess we're good to go. Are we good to go?
Yeah, I don't know. Like final thoughts? Is that?
Yeah, final thoughts. Final thoughts, and I'll just reiterate. Celebrity involvement, it's cool. I just wish they did more of it in other sports, but they just got to find a way around it. I want to see David Dobrik try to play LeBron one-on-one. There you go.
And then buy him a Tesla.
And then buy him a Tesla because sure, why not? Anton, final thoughts?
Yeah, I think. Actually, Parse, you go first.
Yeah, I just think that I hope that like influencers are a part of things because it is fun to see the whole entertainment aspect of it. I just hope it doesn't overshadow the work and dedication and just the way the sport is. I hope that real fans come out of this and not just a hype train. That's pretty much my only thing.
Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I kind of echo some of those thoughts. Like, I hope that that if these celebrities and these influencers are coming in to promote the sport, that they're able to actually convert like fans of the sport, get people really hyped up about it. Like if someone, if let's say David Dobrik, for example, like he started getting really into Ultimate Frisbee and he started promoting the American Ultimate Disc League. Maybe that could bring that bring that up a pedestal, bring that up a little bit in terms of cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think that'd be kind of interesting. But those are my final thoughts.
All right. In that case, that's all we have for today. Man, I am for some reason kind of already excited for this whole Mayweather fight. Well, we'll see when it happens. Assuming COVID hasn't killed us all or a meteor hasn't destroyed the earth at this point.
If you're still finding something to do, just watch some F1.
Oh, yeah, do that. Yeah, go watch some F1. Or you can check out our episode about the F1 and then go check out the F1.
Shout out to Sergio Perez for his first ever Formula One victory as a Mexican driver and as a driver on the grid. Shout out to him.
Or watch golf. I don't think anything's going on in golf right now, but watch golf. I've been watching more golf recently. Anyways, this has been the SportCulation podcast. We'll be back, and as usual, be sure to follow us on Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Google Radio, and YouTube. Yes, I'm wrapping up. I'm Yusuf.
I'm Eric.
I'm David Dobrik.
What?
I'm Jeff Goldblum.
Wait, what's happening? This is the SportCulation podcast? I'm not sure what's happening anymore. Bye.
Okay, bye.